the disruptor Twitter space. And I just happened to catch him be absolutely rude to Black American Homeland. He called on him to speak. And initially, he had to put him back in the audience and bring him back up. The man barely got one question or a few thoughts out of his mouth in an exchange with a person by the name of Christian Lamar. And I mean, after Christian Lamar finished talking, the disruptor just went to the next person. Didn't even have the respect to ask Black American Homeland, was he finished with his comment? These folks, I don't know why y'all put up with this. I really don't. I really don't understand why y'all subject yourself to this rudeness and disrespect. That was total disrespect for Black American Homeland. The way Disruptor did that. And I have witnessed this before in his space. I have him blocked on my main account. I'm on my burner. But I just happened to, while I was sitting there working, doing my business stuff, something said, Aquilin, click on a room. And I'm not really paying a whole lot of attention because I'm focused on what I'm doing. But something just told me when I recognized Black American Homeland voice, I said, Aquilin, stop what you're doing and pay attention. And I'm glad I did. Or I would have missed it. I would have completely missed it. It was totally downright rude the way he just brushed right on past Black American Homeland like he had never called on him. I guess he didn't care too much for Black American Homeland did not even hardly get anything out of his mouth. So I don't know what could have ruffled the feathers. I guess they must have sniffed out that he was going to say something that they didn't like. Or something happened there because it was no reason. He just went to the next lady, called on a lady named Julie, like Black American Homeland had never been called on. It was downright rude. But somebody is in that. I'm gonna put that man's name in the chat. I want you folks to explain to me what this meant. This is about the second time or third time that I've heard this person talk in spaces about some kind of precinct getting selected for precincts. He preaching about folks need to get elected for precincts and they got more power than the National Committee, the Democratic National Committee or the Republican National Committee. I don't know how that makes sense, but y'all unpack it. You folks are the ones who plan on going to vote. This man has been preaching this narrative I've heard him at least 2 or 3 times, and that just don't make sense. What's coming out of his mouth is not adding up. But let's say he telling the truth. It's still not gonna help with the population breakdown. I don't know what dream world this man is in. Y'all folks just need to hold these people's feet to the fire and let them know that you're doing your research. Because this madness have to stop. This madness really have to stop. This is criminal now. I have come to the conclusion that this is criminal. That any person with a brown face and a dark brown face that is going around telling people to vote is criminal. Because they simply have to go to Google, shimmy on over to Google, and get the breakdown of all 52 states. So they don't have to get on a public and embarrass themselves and a lot of folks. I don't know who this Christian Lamar is. Christian Lamar, let me put his handler in the chat. Because this is the man who's running around. I want you folks to remember his name So when you wake up on the 6th of November, you'll know you'll have another person you can add to your list that you want to be mad with. Okay, here we go. I'm going to type his name in the chat. I'm just going to type his name in the chat because it was just really low down and sorry and weak the way Disruptor was so disrespectful and rude to Black American homeland. It was downright disrespectful. Okay, it seems like the THED disruptor is really highlighting this man named Christian Lamar. Christian Lamar, he must be the guest speaker tonight because he's getting all the attention. He's getting all the attention, and somebody needs to explain to me why this human being is running around here preaching this narrative, because he seems like an intelligent person and he have to know the breakdown of the population. So I just want him to explain to you folks why he running around here talking about delegates and precincts. You need to be inside these committees. And I just don't understand. Don't these folks know the population breakdown? Why are they pretending like they don't know? I don't get it. I really don't understand it. Why are these folks running around here on these apps committing crime? Because a brown-faced person, a brown-skinned person, or a dark brown-skinned person should not be running around on these apps telling anybody to go vote unless they are demanding something up front for their vote. If they're not saying that out their mouth at the same time, then you can listen to these brain dead people if you want to, because you cannot change the population breakdown. And the Caucasians and the Asians and the Latinos and the Mexicans have the majority, and they are going to combine their vote. They are going to combine their vote in each of these 20, all you got left over. Just count on your hands, 27. You only have 27. And out of those 27, the Caucasians, the Asians, and the Latinos and Mexicans are going to combine their voting block. So why are you folks listening to these brain dead people? Will y'all please explain that to me? You don't have to listen to me. You can go listen. You can go look at the breakdown of the population count in each of these 52 states. Just go look at it. And it's only 8 that the Negro and the Black Americans and melanated persons have a population in. And most of those 8 don't have a population much over 9%. 9%. 9%. Out of those little 8 out of 52, you barely have a population over 8% in those little 8. And so why are y'all listening to these brain dead people? Can y'all explain that to me? How do you intend to invent a population where you don't have it? Because you don't have it in 25 states. A whole 25. But y'all got Y'all are listening to these brain dead people. Well, I got to get back to work. I just stopped long enough to come this microphone and call out Disruptor for disrespecting, Black American Homeland. Black American Homeland. He's back in the audience now. I guess they couldn't keep him up there on stage too long. They were not going to bother to go back to him and let him finish talking. So I guess they just sent him back to the audience. These folks are sorry. I don't know why y'all take this mess. I don't know why y'all take this mess. The last time I was in Disruptor Room when he disrespected me, I left his room and did a broadcast. That's what I did. That's the last time that I volunteered to go in one of his spaces. That's my memory. That is my memory. I went into his space and he disrespected me by skipping over me to call on other folks that did not have their hand up before me. So I didn't know what had happened to him that day. Did he get up on the wrong side of the bed? I think he must have got up on the wrong side of the bed that day, because he let the devil tell him to disrespect me. I don't know why he let the devil tell him to disrespect me, but he did. And so I made my audio recording on him, because I'm not going to tolerate anyone disrespecting me, whether you are in person disrespecting me or on the internet. I don't give a darn. I just don't give a darn. If you disrespect me, I am going to make sure I address you. I am going to stop in my tracks and I'm going to address you the same way I did Yvette Cornell. I don't know why these folks like to try me. I don't go out my way to disrespect anyone. I don't even disrespect anyone. But for some reason, these folks just let the devil tell them to try me. And so I got the recording. I got my recordings. I'm going to save them for safekeeping. I intend to save them for safekeeping. Something just tells me in the back of my mind, I'm going to need those recordings one day. Someone just tells me a little voice in my head just tells me I'm going to need those recordings. So I'm going to save them. I'm going to make sure they are downloaded to my floppy for safekeeping. That's what I have already done. So y'all folks are so brain dead. It's just pitiful. It's just pitiful to sit up and listen to adults talk about voting when they clearly have witnessed the country be invaded for the past over 3 years. Who do they think is behind this invasion? Do they really think their little vote is going to change that? I don't know how many times I need to say it. If your vote and my vote and Disruptor and Christian Lamar vote mattered, the country wouldn't have been invaded. It would have never got invaded. It would have never got invaded. So unless they plan on dismantling the oligarchy, they blowing smoke up your behind. All these folks telling you to go vote is blowing smoke up your behind. The only folks who are going to benefit from your vote and my vote are those persons in those secret clubs, that inside connection. If you have not got your invite, you can go give your vote away if you choose to do so. But if you have not got your invite to that inside club, your vote and my vote is not going to benefit myself or yourself. Let's just be frank about it. Let's just be frank about it, because there's no need to pretend any longer. The oligarchy has been in charge since 1981, and they're not planning on going home on the 6th of November. They're not planning on packing their suitcase and going home on the 6th of November. So when if you are still alive and wake up on the 6th of November, they're going to still be in charge. So that's about it. That's about it. I don't know if Disruptor was speaking to me early because I was talking to y'all, but I heard something about using your platform for something. I guess I don't know if he was talking about me or someone else, because I couldn't listen to both things at the same time. So I just want to mention that tidbit. But it kind of sounds like he may have been talking about me, but I just didn't catch it. I didn't catch it. Somebody must have went and told him that I was talking about him. Somebody went and snitched. Someone went and snitched and told Disruptor that I was talking about him on my broadcast. Who went and snitched? I would just like to know. Who went and snitched? Because somebody went and snitched, I believe. Because something tells me he must have been addressing me. But I wish to God I had caught it. I wish to God I had caught it. I may go back and listen to his replay if he don't delete it. I may take the time off of my life to go back and listen to the replay and try to find out whether or not he was talking about me. But anyway, y'all folks only have 5 months of your misery. If you do not decide to join one of those 50 groups that I got set up, 52, and we can pray for a Hail Mary, then it's going to be a downright suicide mission that you focus on when you go vote. That's just the bottom line. I just can't get it. I mean, folks keep opening room after room after room after room after room. They keep opening rooms after rooms after room after room talking about this voting. It's bizarre. We each have witnessed the country be invaded. The country is pretty much taken over. What is wrong here? Something got to be wrong here. That adults are still talking about voting when they have witnessed the country be invaded and taken over. Something is definitely wrong. Somebody is. This is beyond delusion. This is beyond delusion and mental damage. I can't even put it into words what I am witnessing. I really cannot put it into words what I am witnessing. But anyway, I'm going back to work now. I'm going back to work. Whoever that person was that went and telltale to Disruptor that I was talking about him, I hope you had a good time. I hope you had a good time telling Disruptor that I was on my broadcast talking about his story behind. I just hope you gave him an earful. I'm not going to have to ever worry about that man disrespecting me again. Your time to disrespect me. Disruptor don't have his one time. So I'm never going to get disrespected by Disruptor again unless I volunteer to give to interact with him. Unless I volunteer to interact with him, I'm going to get another opportunity to disrespect me. See how that works? You only get one opportunity. You only get one opportunity to disrespect me, and that's it. You're not going to get a second and a third. So, Mr. Disruptor will not be disrespecting Who Did You Boycott again. Like he just finished disrespecting Black American homeland. He politely called on the man, and then the man barely had a chance to say that much before he went to Kristen Lamar, and then after Kristen Lamar got done talking, the man just went on and called on the lady, Julie. Like it was just like Black American homeland wasn't talking. It was weird. It was downright weird. But yes, I had to stop in my tracks and come on the microphone and speak about that, because it kind of shocked me. Because Black American homeland, Black American homeland, he come off the microphone so polite, never anticipate anyone taking the initiative to disrespect him in that way. It was kind of odd. It was just kind of odd. Let me go back to work. Y'all have a good night. Okay, folks. Okay, folks. This is Who Did You Boycott Today? I just want to add a little bit at the end of this recording. That person by the name of The Disruptor, THE Disruptor, that man, somebody needs to pull him to the side and have a heart-to-heart talk with him, because that man keeps drinking this spiked Kool-Aid and he's full of himself. So I'm just wondering when someone gonna have the courage to pull him to the side and have a heart-to-heart talk with him, because I'm just getting fed up with the display of his arrogance and drinking that spiked Kool-Aid that he keeps drinking when he opened Twitter Spaces. I mean, the man literally put on a spectacle, and folks sitting there and listen to him. As he called on folks, he's talking about taking a couple of drinks here and there, sipping on whatever he's sipping on, and constantly interrupting folks as they start to talk. Just rudely interrupt folks at will, and he has no thought process to how rude he can be, and no one calls him out. They just let him do as he please. It's a downright spectacle. And I wonder about the young folks who may be in the space at the time, and they bearing witness to that spectacle of adults displaying rudeness to a level that cannot be measured. Excuse me. But no one has the backbone to call him out. And he won't even let folks get words out edgewise that he don't like. If he even sniffed that you may say something opposing to his perspective, you pretty much guarantee maybe not to get 3 or 4 words out. You know, folks don't realize the display of weakness that they display on these public apps. When you have that level of weakness that you cannot listen to an opposing point of view, I would think it would be better off for you not to get on a public app and display your weakness to that level, because it's quite embarrassing. It's really downright embarrassing for adults, one after another, to get on a public app, and then a person come up on a stage to speak and make their comments, and then you just kick into gear, and you display your level of weakness that you cannot listen to that other person say their comments without you talking over them or muting them are being downright rude. It's pitiful. It's just unbelievable pitifulness. So I'm going to say again, when is somebody going to find a backbone to pull that man to the side and have a private conversation with him and inquire as to why he keeps drinking that spiked Kool-Aid and why he put on display how full of himself is that he is. I mean, I have come across so many folks in my lifetime, but very few have displayed the arrogance and full of themselves as this man. I mean, I've come across a lot of folks and interacted with a lot of folks in my lifetime in 62 years. But I cannot go back in my memory and count too many folks that come to the level of display that this man do on a consistent basis. And y'all folks sit there and just watch it like you at a entertainment show of the year, and you don't say anything. The man put on a display of arrogance and full of himself like I haven't seen too many times in my lifetime. But I'm here to let it to speak on it. See, that's one thing that I have just part of how I am wired from the time I was probably in the 4th grade, junior high school, or high school. I've just had a bad habit of calling out foolishness. Just calling out foolishness. It just really disgusts me to bear witness to folks who have an ego. They just full of themselves. And they just display downright rudeness at will. And no one says anything about it. No one have any pushback. They just sit there and take it. I don't understand why folks do that. I'm just kind of confused as to why adults sit back and take it. What is wrong with you folks? Don't you know how to speak up for yourself? Don't you know how to find your voice and speak up for yourself? If someone is displaying that level of rudeness, you should have to find your voice and let them know you don't appreciate it. You don't appreciate it. But I guess you want to stay part of the clique. You want to stay part of the inside club, so you keep your mouth closed. I don't know. I just can't make sense of it. Yeah, you folks may feel good on the inside because you have a inside interaction with this man, but I don't see why you would have any satisfaction to interact with a person like his character. It's just really downright rude. And he was really downright rude to America, Black American homeland. Black American homeland came up on that stage to have an opportunity to speak. And Disruptor called on him. And before the man could get a few words out with the exchange between Christian Lamar and Black American homeland, they were having a little exchange. They was having a very quick exchange between each other. It seemed to be that Black American homeland was asking a question to Christian Lamar, and then the Disruptor cut in, and I don't know what he said for a little while, but he cut in like he normally do. And then the next thing I know, he's calling on a new person, Julie. Like Black American homeland was not in the middle of talking. And no one said anything. No one popped off of their microphone and corrected the disruptor. Not one person. It was, you could hear a penny drop. Folks were so quiet. Next thing I know, I blinked my eye and Black American Homeland is back in the audience, just like that. Just like that. I mean, it happened so quick. If you blink your eyes a couple of times, you'll miss the whole thing. I'm still considering going back and listening to that replay. That is, if the disruptor happened deleted it. My gut tells me that he more than likely is going to delete it. I really don't give a darn one way or the other. I really don't give a darn. That man took the liberty to disrespect me after the second time that I went into one of his spaces. The second time. The first time I made my observation and I said, I'm going to give it one more time. I'm going to go in one more time and I'm going to observe how things go. The first time I wasn't really too pleased, but I said, okay, don't make a big deal out of it. I'm going to go in a second time and see how things go. And he took the liberty to disrespect me that second time in that space. And so I proceeded to leave his space and go open my own space and make an audio recording addressing him. Because, see, folks get the big head that they can disrespect folks because they on a internet and you're not face to face with each other. They got this sickness, this bad sickness in their head. They think they have the liberty to disrespect others because they on a public app and they're not face to face. They have convinced themselves that they can take the liberty to be rude and disrespectful anytime they feel like it. Well, I'm here to tell you, folks, I'm not the person to do that with. I am not the one. Skip over me, go to the next person or the next person or the next person, but skip over me. Because I am going to take time to address you more than likely. Now, I won't address each and every person. I got too much to do with my time to do that, to stop in my tracks and address every one of you sorry human beings. But I'm more than likely going to decide which ones that I care to take the time to stop in my tracks and address. And the disruptor is at the top of the list of sorry human beings that is drinking spike Kool-Aid and full of himself. And you persons who hang around him and you claim to be his friend or his associate, you need to pull him to the side. You need to pull him to the side and have a private conversation with this man. It's downright embarrassing for this person who is an elder to be on a public app displaying this level of character. That's downright rude and disrespectful. There has not been one time that I have entered his space, a space that he have opened on Twitterland, that he did not interrupt almost every speaker that came up on his stage. That's been my observation. I can count on one hand how many of his Twitter spaces that I have been able to stomach. I can pretty much count on one hand how many of his Twitter spaces that I have been able to stomach. And each of them, my observation has been that he constantly interrupts. He's constantly displaying rudeness and disrespect, and no one calls him out. They just let it happen like he's not even doing anything. But I'm going to close it out right there. I got to get back to my work. I have wasted enough time on this sorry human being, but I'm gonna upload my recording and put it on blast, because adults with this level of character and example needs to be called out for the young generations that will come behind that may end up witnessing this, and they need to understand that that is not the way they want to present themselves to the public, whether you in person or on a public app. The young folks need a positive example. They need a positive example, and they need to understand that if they, as they grow up, if they bear witness to this being on display, that they make the critical evaluation that that is not the type of character that you want to display on a public app or in person. That is the example that young folks need to understand, and it's each of our responsibility to call that out. It's my responsibility, and it's your responsibility to call that out, because if you have a child or other when as children grow up in society, they need positive examples. And those of us who are adults that turn a blind eye to this display of character, we are complicit. If you don't have the backbone to call it out, then you are in agreement with it. You are in agreement by staying silent. You are making it very clear that you are in agreement, because you do not choose to show the backbone to call it out. So I wasn't raised that way by my mother. I was not raised that way by my mother and my brothers and sisters and my community. I just came up in a different environment, thank God. I just thank my lucky stars that I grew up and developed in a different environment, that display of poor character was not tolerated. It was not tolerated. It was called out, and you were told in direct terms, in direct ways, that you needed to correct yourself. It was going to be called out, and you were going to be made clear that that type of personality or character flaws was not going to be tolerated. And so you had to make a personal choice whether you were going to continue to display that type of character or character flaws, or you was going to do some self-correcting. It was going to be left up to you to decide which one you wanted to do. But it was definitely going to be called out. It was definitely going to be called out, and then it was going to be left up to you whether you made that self-correction or you continue with that display of that character flaws. So thank you, folks, for taking the time to listen to this broadcast. I hope and pray that each and everyone can keep safe and out of harm's way. And I trust and pray that the good Lord will ensure that we each live out our days the way it's meant to be. You folks take care. Take care. Take care.